Now that we have our assembly drawn, we need to create drawings. So back to new, and this time we need to look into our drawing files, and we need to get ANSI, millimetre drawing. Now when we first open this up, our drawing page is size C. We need to change that to a A4 page. So we right click on sheet in this little browser tree over here. So edit sheet, and we're going to change our sheet size to A4. And go OK. You'll notice it comes up with your name here and today's date. And we're going to go through and we're going to put in a view, so base view. We'll get this dialog box. First thing we need to do, we need to connect it to what file we're looking at. It come up with our passive speaker assembly, so that's correct. And we need to get an isometric view. So you can see that comes in, and we can orientate all these different ways. But the correct way for us to view this particular item would be isometric top right. And looking at the size of the scale, let's move that box over, looking at the size of the scale, we're going to need to reduce that. And I'd say we need to reduce it to about quarter size. So over here with scale, we can go 1 to 4. Or even that looks a little bit small, so maybe we'll go 1 to 3. And we can just type 3 in there. And just have a little bit of a play until we get the right size. Maybe even half size will be fine. And then we're going to place that with a left click. And I'm just going to place it to this side. Because over here we're going to put a parts list. So the next thing that we need to do, we can go to annotate and parts list. And this time again we need to link it to a file. So we're going to link it to our assembly view. And then we just hit OK for both of them. And we're going to drop it in the top corner. And we can change the size of our columns. Like if we don't need to have that big amount of space there, we can reduce that. So we've got 3 items in our drawing, and it's got the quantity list there and also the parts name. So that all links to the file that we've used. We're going to get a revision bubble or a balloon, and we're going to clip that onto each piece, and then we can drag that out. Right click, continue. Now with graphics, it's very important that we keep things in order. So straight lines, continue. So they're now on top of each other. Oh, I might have grabbed the same one there, so we'll just go back. Make sure I'm grabbing the right one. So I'm going to try and get that balloon so it's in the same space. I'm trying to get this middle one. Oops, might start it up here just so I can make sure that that second one's highlighted. Just trying to keep things in line. And we'll continue. So now we can relate to our parts. So part number 1 is the back, part number 2 is the middle, and part number 3. Just looking at the order of that, I might actually change that. So we can highlight and delete. So it might be best to just do it in order just so it looks neat. So grabbing the middle one from here, number 2, and number 1. And we can put a title down the bottom here, so I can text. From this point we can drag our text out, our text box. Let's make our text 5mm high, and caps lock on, passive speaker. Now we need to add a sheet, so we go back to placing views and add a new sheet. And you'll notice this one now says 2 of 2. And so our first one, if you want to go back there, we can right click and activate. That's 1 of 2. So you need to refer to them if you're trying to explain to somebody which drawing that we're looking at. It's like page numbers in a book. So back to number 2. This time we're going to put in what's called an orthographic drawing. So base view. Just going to place this one here from the front. If you needed to change these, the orientation of it, you can go through this series here, but I do want to look at it from the front. I'm going to place this view here. Now we can project, so before I go right click and end, I can actually project a top view up, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. Right click, create. I'm going to have a side view coming out here, so projected view. Now I need to select the view I want to project from, so this view and coming out in this direction. Right click, create. So we can see our 3 layers. From here we're going to annotate. We're going to annotate with some dimension lines. So using this dimension here, we're just going to put in overall dimensions. So from this point to this point, we're just going to change the precision to 0, just so it doesn't clutter our drawing. From this point to this point, just changing the precision there. And we just need, so we've got the length of our project and the thickness. Now what we need to put down is the overall height. So from this point, and we're going to try and link up so they're in line again. So precision 0. Put a title in again, so 5 millimeters high. And we're just going to put in orthographic view. An orthographic view is where you have a top view, a front view and a side view. So we're going to write that in here. So top view, you'll notice I'm using capital letters. And we'll try and get our text in the same spot. And that's that drawing finished. Save it as drawings, and they're going to need to be printed off on A4 paper and handed in for assessment.